Hello, this is Amelia from Thesis Video Tutorials with another video in the WordPress Beginner Basics series, and this is the second video with regards to publishing a post. So at the moment we've got this post and it's currently published and visible on our site, but we may want to change that. We may want to put it back into a draft status. We may want to add to it, maybe reschedule it. So how do we go about doing that? So with the publish, after it's gone from a draft status to a published status, you'll notice that this save draft button has disappeared, but we've got this preview changes. So if we are making any changes to the post at all, we can view it on as our visitors are going to see it, but with the changes that we're making. So this is the post as it appears published. If we make any changes, this is going to show any of the changes that we are adding to it, so we can actually see what our changes are going to look like. We've then got the statuses below as per the last video. So we've got the status is published and we can edit that. So we can now change it back to pending review, which is where you send it to editor to have a look at and publish, or you can put it back into a draft status. Okay. The next one we've got is the visibility, which is exactly the same as the previous video, so I'm not going to go through that. And then we've got the published on date, so it's saying that it was published on this date, and we can choose to edit it. Again, we can select a date in the future, so it becomes to a scheduled post. So if we now change that, and it'll change that from update to schedule. So I'll just quickly change that back so you can see it in case you missed it. So we've got the update there, but if we change it, it'll change it to scheduled. So we can do all of that. So let's just change this to draft, just so we've got an idea of what's going on. And let's click update. Okay, so now we've changed it back to a draft status. So now we've got the save draft button back again, and we've got the publish button there. So it's gone from update back to publish. So let's now change this. Let's just publish it. So we'll change it back to published. We're just playing around with it at the moment. And now let's change the date. So we see how we've got it scheduled. So let's click on scheduled. So we've now got this as a scheduled post, so to post tomorrow at the same time, and you've now got the status here, it's saying scheduled. So we had draft, we've had published, and now we've got scheduled. So now we can actually change this to something else. So we can now change it to either pending review or draft. So that will allow us to change that. Again, we've got the visibility, which is exactly the same as before, and we've then got the schedule. So let's go back and change that. So now instead of saying update, it's now saying publish. So we're just going to click published, and it's now changed it back to a status of published. Now, one thing you may come across is that this update button here may fade out where you can't access it, where you can't click on it. So I'm just going to show you an example of this. This is something that WordPress does, which I think is quite handy, where if you start adding some information into the post, start making some changes, WordPress will do an automatic save for you. So every 60 seconds it will save the draft that you are currently working on. It does not affect the published post if you've already got a post that's published. All it does is it saves what you're doing at the moment. So should your session crash or something happens and you leave it, WordPress will have a little revision saved for you, and it does it every 60 seconds. Now what happens when it starts saving is this little button will blur out a bit. It'll just go, I think, a deeper color, and that's where it's doing the auto save. Okay, so it should be updating fairly soon, and you will see a change in the button, and when that button changes you won't be able to click on it. So come on. There we go, see? Just changed there, just very briefly. Okay, so if you happen to move out of this page, so let's just click here, and yes, we are going to leave the page. So we haven't actually saved any of those changes, but if we go back now into this post, it's got this, there is an autosave of this post that is more recent than the version below, and you can view all the saves that WordPress has made of this. So you can go back to a previous edit that you were doing. Okay, so it's just a little tip there for you. All right, so that's it with the publish button or the publishing area. So in the next video, we're going to start going through how to categorize our posts and group them into categories. So I will see you in the very next video. Okay, bye.